When the night gets heavy and your chest feels tight with everything you didn't say, breathe with me slowly, as if each inhale were a way back into yourself and each exhale were a soft release from the weight you have been carrying alone for too long. Let your shoulders loosen, unclench the jaw you didn't realize you were holding, and let the darkness around you become a blanket rather than a threat. You are safe here. You are held here. Nothing is demanded from you in this moment. No performance. No pretending you're over something that still lives inside you. Tonight, you can finally stop running from the echo of someone who meant more than words could capture. There are nights when the person you once loved doesn't feel like a chapter you closed, but like a room you still walk past carefully because even glimpsing inside awakens the ache that never fully settled. Breakups don't end when people stop talking. They end when your body slowly learns that the absence is real, that the silence is permanent, that the world continues even when your heart refuses to understand why. And sometimes the hardest part isn't losing them. It's losing the version of yourself that existed only when you were with them. It's the way their name still pulls at your breath, the way certain places feel haunted, the way a simple memory carries more weight at 2 a.m. than it ever did in daylight. You may wonder why you still feel this way, why the pain didn't just fade with time the way people say it will. But the truth is this: love leaves impressions inside the nervous system. It rewires the rhythm of your days. It shapes your expectations, your fears, your hopes, until letting go feels like learning to walk again on unfamiliar ground. It's not weakness to hurt. It's not failure to feel. Pain is the last language the heart uses before healing. And you are still learning how to translate this new version of your life. Let yourself breathe again. Let the air soften the intensity inside your chest. You don't need to erase them tonight. You don't need to be fine. You only need to be honest with what your body is feeling. Let the sorrow rise without shame. Let the memories surface without punishment. Healing begins the moment you stop fighting the reality of your own emotions. So stay here with me in this dark, quiet room. This is the moment where the ache is allowed to exist but not control you. This is where we begin to loosen its grip. Now let your heart tell the truth it has been hiding beneath the surface. You didn't just lose a person. You lost a future you had already imagined. You lost the small rituals that made you feel understood. You lost the comfort of knowing someone saw you in ways the rest of the world never did. It's the quiet moments that hurt the most, the half-forgotten laughter, the way they said your name, the shared language that no one else spoke. Love creates micro-universes, and heartbreak is the collapse of a world only two people ever lived in. That's why it feels like a death without a funeral. That's why the grief is real even if the world tells you to move on. But listen closely, you are not broken. You are grieving, and grief is not a malfunction. It is a process of reassembling your identity in the absence of someone who once helped shape it. The fact that it hurts means it mattered. And the fact that it mattered does not mean you are meant to stay stuck here forever. So take another breath, slow and intentional. Feel the air move through the spaces inside you that have been tight for days. Imagine the sorrow loosening one thread at a time, not disappearing, just softening enough for you to exist without drowning in it. You don't have to force healing. You don't have to rush forgiveness. Tonight is about creating a small space inside your chest where the pain can settle without overwhelming you. A space where you can exhale without collapse. A space where you can begin gently to learn who you are without them. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are mourning something sacred, and mourning is how the heart honors what it loved. Let the tears come if they need to. Let the silence speak if it must. Let the memory exist without attacking you. You are still here. You are still breathing. And your heart is not ruined. It is reorganizing itself. Healing does not look like forgetting. Healing looks like remembering without breaking. Healing looks like recognizing the love, the hurt, the loss, and still choosing to return to yourself. One breath at a time, one night at a time. You are not done. You are not lost. You are becoming someone new, someone who will carry this experience with tenderness rather than pain. Someone who will one day look back and understand that this collapse was also a beginning. You are allowed to rest now. You are allowed to release the weight. You are allowed to exist without holding everything together. When the person you loved becomes a memory that still hurts, remember this. The memory will soften, the ache will shift, and your heart will rebuild itself around the space that once felt empty. You are healing even when you don't feel it. Stay, breathe. Let the night hold you while you return gently to yourself. When your heart feels like it has been stretched beyond what it was built to hold, stay right here with me and let this next breath become the beginning of something quieter inside you. Something steadier. Something that doesn't collapse under the weight of what was lost. There is a moment in every healing journey where the pain stops being sharp and starts becoming heavy. And that heaviness can feel even more frightening because it lingers without warning. But this heaviness is not your enemy. It is your heart trying to reorganize the pieces of a story that ended before you were ready. Let it settle. Let it speak. You are not fragile for feeling this deeply. You are human in the most honest way. Sometimes the memory of someone you loved feels like walking through a house that once belonged to you. A house filled with rooms that still smell like the life you lived together. You open one door and find joy. Another door and you feel loss. Another, and there is anger you didn't know you were carrying. Healing is not closing these doors. Healing is learning how to walk past them without losing your breath. So let tonight be the moment where you learn to walk again at your own pace. Not to forget, not to erase, but to continue. Heartbreak rewrites your inner landscape. It shifts the floor beneath your feet. It makes you question your worth, your intuition, your ability to choose someone again without fearing the collapse that came before. These fears are not signs that you are broken. They are bruises on the emotional body, tender reminders of how deeply you felt and how much you risked by loving. And risking is never a mistake. Even now, in this moment of trembling, your heart is proving something extraordinary, that it is capable of expanding again. Breathe. Let your chest rise with the quiet confidence that healing is already happening in places you cannot see. The nervous system is learning to calm the alarms that heartbreak activated. The mind is learning to stop replaying the final moments. The body is learning that absence is painful but not fatal. You survived the moment you thought you wouldn't. Anything after that is growth. Now let me guide you deeper into the quiet that lives under the pain. Imagine your heart as a shoreline at night. The waves of memory keep coming, some gentle, some strong, but the shore does not disappear. It remains, solid, present, waiting for the tide to change. Your heart is that shoreline. No matter how many waves of hurt arrive, they will not take away the ground beneath you. Feel that stability in your breath. Even if the pain rises, you are not collapsing. You are witnessing. You are learning your own strength. Not the loud kind that pretends nothing hurts, but the quiet kind that stays present through the ache. Heartbreak often tricks us into believing we have lost something irreplaceable. But what you truly lost was a version of life imagined in emotion, not the only future available to you. What feels irreplaceable today will one day be understood as a stepping stone toward a version of yourself that could only emerge in the aftermath of loss. Love does not end when someone leaves. It transforms, sometimes into gratitude, sometimes into wisdom, sometimes into a quieter form of longing that softens over time. And sometimes it becomes the foundation upon which you rebuild yourself, one breath at a time. Let your breath expand that space inside you, the one that has felt tight for weeks, months, maybe longer. Let the air move through the parts you kept locked because it was safer not to feel them. As you exhale, imagine releasing a tiny portion of the weight, not all at once, just enough to make room for yourself again. Healing happens in increments, not explosions. The small moments matter. The quiet evenings matter. The nights like this matter most of all. There will come a night when you realize you went an entire hour without thinking of them. Then a day. Then a week. You will laugh again without feeling guilty. You will wake up without the heaviness pressing against your ribs. You will walk past places that once hurt and feel only a faint echo instead of a wound. This does not mean the love wasn't real. It means you survived it. Now bring your awareness to your heartbeat. That steady rhythm is proof that you are still choosing life, even when life feels confusing. It is evidence that your story is still moving, still unfolding, still capable of surprising you with moments of warmth you haven't met yet. Allow your heart to rest in that possibility. You do not need to rebuild yourself tonight. You do not need to understand the entire meaning of this loss. You only need to breathe in a way that tells your body, I am safe now. I am allowed to feel. I am allowed to heal. Let that message sink into the deepest layers of your being. Imagine it wrapping around the sorrow, not to silence it, but to guide it gently into a space where it can transform. Pain is not your destination. It is the tunnel through which you are walking, and there is an exit even if you cannot see it yet. Keep breathing. Your heart is not closing. It is recalibrating. It is learning how to beat for you again, not for the memory of someone who is no longer walking beside you. One day, this ache will not be the center of your world. It will be a story your heart carries with calm instead of fear, softness instead of sharpness. A story that shaped you but did not stop you. A story that once hurt but no longer defines you. Tonight, let the weight slide off your shoulders, just a little. Lean into the quiet and let it hold you. You are not alone in this dark. You are reconnecting with yourself, with the parts of you that existed before the heartbreak and the parts that will emerge after. The memory will change. The pain will loosen, and you will step forward again, slower, wiser, softer. You are already healing, even now, even here, even in this night that feels endless. Your heart is rising, steady and silent, learning how to live again in the absence of what it once held so tightly. And you will live, fully, deeply, honestly, with a strength you are only beginning to understand. Now rest. Let the night hold what you no longer need to carry. Let your breath welcome you home to yourself.